Um, we're currently on lockdown in the country I live in, so it's technically illegal for me to be outside right now. I was gonna wait for the lockdown to end, but I thought that this is actually the perfect time to go out because there's no one around. I just have to get quickly to a lonely area and look out for any police cars in the distance, and it should be fine. It's a lot of distance to the road. So, this is the first time I've left the house in. It's really cold for some reason. This is the first time I've left the house in about 100 days. And, it's one of the comforts of not leaving the house is the idea that if you do leave the house, things will get much better. The idea that, of course, things are bad because I'm not leaving the house. Sometimes I look outside and I listen to people laughing outside, and I think, wow, things would be so easy if I could just leave the house. So, the idea that there's such an easy way to end my problems, just leaving the house, the comfort that I get from that hope is what stops me from taking advantage of it. Because deep down I know that if I do leave the house, things won't actually get much better. They might get a little bit better, but not enough to make me more comfortable, not enough to give me more comfort than the comfort I get from the hope that I have when I don't leave the house. I'm not sure where to go. I'm gonna keep walking down here. Recently, I've started having a conversation with someone online. We've been chatting for many hours. We chatted for 8 hours one day, and then we chatted for like 4.5 hours. This person messaged me because they saw my first video and they liked it. And when they first messaged me, I thought, oh, I'm definitely going to ignore that. But then I thought, well, why? Well, because I'm gonna look ridiculous because I don't know how to talk to people. I thought, well, yeah, but isn't that particularly why you should do it? Because you're gonna look ridiculous. That's why you should do it. Because that way I'll be able to practice and learn, and maybe I'll look less ridiculous. And next time I talk to someone. And we did talk, and it was actually easier than I expected. And the hard part was actually the end, when we stopped talking. The reason the end was hard, it was because, for the same reason why leaving the house is hard, because it sort of shattered the fantasy that talking to someone would make things better. It shattered the fantasy that, of course I feel bad because I'm lonely, because I've got no one to talk to. But as soon as I talk to someone, they will make things better for me. All I need is someone to talk to. And then when I finished talking to this person, I thought, well, that was a good conversation. that was the first time in my life I've ever chatted to anyone online. So up to now, I'd always been too scared to do it. I'd always been too insecure. I thought no one would want to talk to me, and I would not. I would do a terrible job, so better not to do it until I'm better. Then of course eventually we'll do it. But no, it went better than I expected. I looked reasonably ridiculous, but not anywhere near as much as I expected. And yeah, now that's one safety delusion less. Now that I've talked to someone, now there's nothing to protect me from the loneliness, because when you don't talk to someone, you think the loneliness is just a very, very temporary thing. You'll talk to someone and the loneliness will go away, and it's in order to protect that comfort why you don't talk to people. But now that I've talked to someone, now I have no excuse. The loneliness is real and there's nothing you can do about it. I still feel lonely. I talked to someone for 8 hours and I feel more lonely afterwards than before. And it's not because there was anything wrong with the person. If there was something wrong with the person, then that would be the excuse. But no, this person was... Just careful when I hear cars in case it's a police car. Then we'll attempt to run, which will make for a good video. Yeah, if you get caught out at night, I think the fine is like 600 euros, and I have 750 euros in my bank account, so I'm covered. I was not going to use them for anything anyway, so I'm not really too worried. I also started a Twitter account, and a similar thing happened. I immediately messaged lots of people, and a slightly different thing happened, and several people followed me, and several people liked things I posted, but no one really wanted to engage with me. Like I would message someone, they wouldn't message me back, which is of course obviously completely normal, except for one person who this person who was very depressed. They were in the hospital, and I was trying to comfort this person, and I think I didn't do a very good job, and I think I was just bothering them in the end, so I stopped messaging them. But maybe I wasn't. Maybe it was actually working, and then that person thought, oh, why the hell did he stop messaging me? Because like the last message was one where I said something like, what do you do to cope? And they said like, oh, anything I can. And like, they're telling me to stop asking, right? But maybe I got that completely wrong. And then that person's thinking, why the hell did he suddenly stop talking to me? I don't know. But aside from that person, no one else engaged with me. So then I did this really weird thing where I liked lots of tweets on different accounts, and then some of them followed me, and I followed back the people who followed me, and then tried to engage with them, and they didn't really engage back. So then I thought, oh well, I don't want to follow people if we're not going to be friends. I'm just sorry, I got freaked out there for a moment. So I unfollowed them, and then I realized, oh, that might be rude. So I followed them again, and I thought, no, I don't think that's rude. So I unfollowed them, and I did this many times. Now I'm feeling really awkward about it. I don't know how weird or normal that is. Probably very weird. Yeah, I'm gonna pretend it didn't happen, and just carry on engaging them with them like normal. Right? That's what I should do now. I shouldn't address it, should I? That would be... Um, Earlier today, I tweeted something, and I was expecting like normal that people wouldn't reply, which is normal. Got a very small account, uh, but I was expecting that at least someone would like it, and no one did, and I started to feel extremely lonely after that. Very, very lonely. And I started feeling like really embarrassed that something like that made me feel so lonely. Because I'm like, when people like your tweets, that's not a real interaction with a person, right? Or is it? I mean, I don't know. But it's funny how that, because it's the fact of putting myself out there into this place where there's so many people, and that no one acknowledges you, even in the most shallow way. It makes me feel much, much more lonely than if I hadn't tried. You know, when I'm far away from life, it's much easier to handle the loneliness. It's much easier to handle the loneliness when I don't put myself out there. But when I put myself out there and you get completely ignored, then I just felt extremely lonely in a much more intense way than with the conversation I had with the other person. That conversation felt lonely in a deeper way. Was this, that conversation was felt lonely in a deep, like almost unburdening way, like lonely in the sense of, oh yeah, whew, that really is all there is. Oh, whereas this felt more intensely lonely. Like I felt extremely cold in my body, and I went to bed for several hours just because I felt so lonely. I feel much lonelier now than I did a couple of weeks ago when I was not talking to anyone. Recently, I've been thinking about starting to write again. I started writing when I was 18, and I immediately got extremely excited about the idea of writing because I thought, wow, this is incredible. This is something that. Let's go to somewhere with a bit more light. Sorry, I don't know how this is going to look on video. Maybe this looks terrible. Sorry, I'm just walking around here because it's. Oh, there's light. This, like this, no? Yeah, I'll just stand here. I'll stop walking around. Sorry. Yeah, I'm just here because this is the loneliest area, but there's of course street lights. Not that many street lights. I think this looks fine now. Don't know how it'll look later. Yeah. I thought, well, writing is incredible because I've wasted my life, and I can write about that. I can write something that I couldn't have written if I hadn't wasted my life. So therefore, any kind of creativity gives you. Or it feels like any kind of a creativity feels like it gives you an opportunity of redemption because you can do something that you wouldn't have been able to have done without the mistakes. So therefore, it makes the mistakes not be negative anymore. It turns them into a positive. But there's one problem, which is I'm really bad at it, and I didn't realize. I was completely confused about that. I thought I was better than I was, and I think partly because I needed it so much. And then that just made me really frustrated, and it made writing extremely difficult because I would get so anxious about it because I wanted the final product so much. Like I want to create something that will redeem bad experiences. I need this, and therefore I would just fantasize about having done it. And same with these videos, by the way. I've fantasized about having made these videos, but then not so much these vloggy videos, if not other videos I was planning to make on topics. But then when I do write, or when I do make a video, I feel, oh, that doesn't redeem anything. That's it. That's crap. That's not. That doesn't. What you think? You thought that would redeem having wasted your life? You thought what? I start avoiding writing and avoiding doing anything creative because I prefer the fantasy of creating and that will redeem than seeing the final product and realizing, yeah, this doesn't redeem anything. You know, I think oh, this is a perfect spot. I don't know why didn't I sit here in the first place? Sorry. I think when you don't do anything, when you're not engaged in the present, the past seems much more fluid. Because you feel like you have no power over the present, you equally have no power over the past, and you equally have no power over the future. So, the step from having no power to having power kind of seems the same, regardless of if you're talking about the present or the past or the future. But when you engage with something, you then realize, oh yeah, this really is all there is. When you're actually doing something, when you're actually talking to someone, when you're actually writing, you realize, oh yeah, this moment right now, this really is all there is. There's not. I don't have. Now that I have control over the present, I realize I never have control over the past. But when I don't have control over the present, the idea of having control over the present kind of merges with the idea of having control of the past, I think. Because it all seems equally delusional in one way and equally plausible in another way. You know, because when I don't do anything, I kind of have this feeling that all my insecurities are not valid. Like, as in, like, I have all these insecurities, but I feel like, yeah, but deep down, you know that the reason everything is bad is because you're not doing anything. And you know that in the future, something could happen that will make all the past make sense. But even deeper than that, I know that's completely not true. So when you do something, it cuts out that delusional middle. And yeah, that's why it's not fun to do things, and that's why I typically don't. I'm only doing things now because the delusions have become much harder to hold on to, because it's got so late in my life. I think there's this hope that I think I think the reason we sort of procrastinate is because we have this hope that nothing's really real, that and there's that, yeah, action just shatters that, regardless of if you succeed or if you fail. Failure is much more comforting than success, because failure validates your distress, and it also still allows for the delusion of success. But success is the hardest thing, because Not that I've had any success. Well, relatively, I guess I have. Yeah, that conversation was a success. But success is the hardest thing because it shatters the delusions and leaves you with nothing. Success shatters the delusion of success and leaves you with nothing. Alright, sorry. I think that was. I'm not sure how repetitive I've been. I might have been very, very repetitive. I know I've been repetitive. I don't know how bad it's been. I'm sorry. I'll be careful next time. Anyway, sorry. One last thing I want to talk about. Yeah, I spent Christmas with my family, and I thought we were gonna talk, but that didn't happen. I didn't try to talk, and they didn't try to talk. I didn't even make eye contact actually. So nothing went badly or well. There was no problems or anything good. It was exhausting. I fell asleep immediately straight after. It was super tiring, but yeah, no. I'm a bit disappointed. I think I wasted an opportunity to talk to someone, even if I don't really want to talk to my family. I wasted an opportunity to talk to someone in real life, which I think could have been cool. So I think, you know, on the New Year and on New Year's Eve, I think this time I'm gonna try to say something and just see how it goes. And I think I'm gonna try to make eye contact and just see how that goes. Alright, so sorry for this video if it's. I don't think it's very good. But I would do another take, but I think I should go home. Alright, if you've watched this, thank you very much.